Hey geeks, welcome to the episode of Geeks TV Live. I'm Patrick. With me as always, Abigail. Hello.
Yeah.
So, what a week in geek it's been, right?
Yeah, it's been a little insane.
It's been awesome for us. Welcome. Let's see. We teased last week that we were going to go and see Star Trek Beyond, and we did, and more so too. We got to do other stuff, but we'll talk about that a little bit later on the show. Let's still talk about a little bit of the week in geek as far as what's been going on, because, like I said, it's been pretty crazy for us. Ghostbusters came out, which is a very big time geek movie.
Yeah, huge.
I grew up on the original Ghostbusters and the cartoon. You know there was a cartoon, right?
Yeah. I was just saying that I saw a few episodes.
Arsenio Hall was the voice of Winston in the cartoon. I don't know if you guys geeks knew that or anybody knew that, but I just remember that. I was like, hey, Arsenio. He voiced Winston in the Ghostbusters cartoon, which was based off of the Ghostbusters movie made in the 1980s. And like we were talking off the air earlier, and I was saying that a lot of people don't know that the movie from the 1980s itself was a remake of the Ghostbusters. There was a movie called The Real Ghostbusters back in, like, I think the 60s or 70s.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of backlash when in the 80s they decided to make another Ghostbusters, because they were saying that Ghostbusters movie was too Saturday Night Live because of Bill Murray and Dan Aykroyd and Harold Ramis, all those guys. And it was not like, it wasn't a good idea. They were getting some heat for it, kind of like today.
Right now.
Wow.
But I saw
what do you know?
But I saw it last night with my dad, who grew up on the original, just the same.
Mm-hmm.
The original remake. And he enjoyed it. We both enjoyed it. And I thought it was great. I love the cast. It was hilarious. The effects were amazing.
I was going to say, the effects look pretty spot on.
Yeah, no, it was a beautiful visual. And then the greatest thing is, right as I was exiting the theater, I saw a boy and his sister dressed up in Ghostbusters costumes going in to see the movie. And I think if anything justifies a remake, it's that.
Well, yeah, I think that, as parents, we want to try to, expose our children to what we love, and I think with what's happening in some remakes, not all of them are successful. But with some of these remakes, it's kind of like rebreathing a new life into a good story with, updated effects and graphics. Because I know when I would show, for instance, Clash of the Titans to my kids, they were kind of always like, that looks so cheesy, because it's stop motion animation, Harryhausen style, compared to CG animation, what they're used to and what their eyes see. So they can definitely see the two differences in effects. So it kind of brings them out of what I thought was amazing.
Yeah, younger kids have a lot higher standards.
Yeah, you guys are spoiled. But it's cool, though. I understand that.
It's interesting because I'm in this awkward little generation that was used to the stop motion animation and whatnot. And it's also amazed and impressed by the new stuff.
Yeah, I mean, definitely now. It's like, I remember the first time we were just watching Harry Potter. I saw Harry Potter on a hippogriff. I think that was probably one of the first really good CG things that I had seen in this new generation of CG being done. Jar Jar Binks is not one of them. I just had to throw that out there.
Oh God, watching it now on Blu-ray is awful.
Oh my God, tell me about it. We actually, back in December, my buddy Patrick Ian Moore and myself and a buddy Ken Breeze got together for the holidays and had some magic mushroom tea and watched The Phantom Menace. And it was so bad and terrible. It was, we couldn't get past why? For one, why was this movie even existing in our reality? Like, why? Who cares?
Why, Lucas? Why did you do this to us?
Who cares about a kid in a 20-minute pod race? Because that's the majority of the movie, is the pod race scene. It's like a 20-minute scene. And
that was a cash grab to kids.
I went out and made a sandwich, came back, finished the sandwich, and the pod race was still going on. It's like, wow, this is a movie about a pod race and a kid. Anyway, we digress. Ghostbusters made 17 million on its opening Friday. It's projected to make a 45 million, a cool 45 million,
That's great.
which isn't an awesome opening for a summer. It's good, but it's not awesome.
Yeah, considering how much backlash there was even before the movie came out, I'm impressed that it did that well.
Hopefully, I mean, if it's good, I haven't seen it myself. She says it's good. I trust her opinion. Hopefully, if it's as good as it's, and I've heard the same reviews from other people too, saying that it's actually a lot better than the trailers had given it credit for. Maybe it'll climb and start to gain maybe another 45 next weekend, and it'll get it back on par. But it's a good opening. It was projected to make 40 million. It's going to make 5 million more than what they projected.
Which is great.
It's good. Just edged out The Secret Life of Pets, which is at 167 million worldwide right now, which is
I need to go see that.
Yeah, me too. And Finding Dory comes out in third place with 3 million.
How long has it been out for now?
I believe only 4 weeks. I believe.
Not too bad.
Not too bad.
I think everyone that I've talked to who's seen it loved it. So
$437 million right now.
Disney is not. It's not
raking it in.
Yeah.
Just give me. And
Disney's currently swimming in their money.
And number 4, speaking of Disney, is actually it's Warner Bros. Legend of Tarzan. Is that number 4 and 5? A movie I never even heard of, but way to go, Fox! Mike and Dave need wedding dates.
You seriously didn't hear the massive ad campaign for that?
There was.
There was a massive on the radio, on TV.
Okay.
I saw internet ads.
That's where I am removed from mainstream media because no, I'm just kidding. I haven't been driving much, so I actually there you go. That's why I probably missed the ad campaign. You got to do more social media marketing.
There was an ad on our way into LA on the radio while we were on the way in to see Star Trek Beyond.
What was the ad?
It was talking. It was for the Mike and Dave, and they were joking and saying that they needed dates and saying that anyone will do, etc. etc.
Oh, I thought that was for like a dating app.
No.
Okay. Way to go, Fox. Moving on. Pokemon in its first official week of release, because it came out on July the 6th, so it was pretty much the first full week out. Wow.
Holy crud.
Dude, seriously, the number 1 selling game app of all time. Number 1 app on iTunes and on Google.
Google Play.
Google Play. Thank you. And talk about changing society.
Yeah, no, it's made a major impact. It's all that's been on news, radio. People are talking. All my friends have downloaded it.
So there's some funny headlines. First off, 2 dudes fall off a bluff in San Diego.
I'm not sure that qualifies as funny so much as stupid and tragic.
It's stupid. It's Darwinism at its best. These guys hopped the fence illegally. So there was a fence there to keep them from doing this. So you're bad already. Once you break the law, you're being stupid. It's your own downfall. Darwinism. We need the thing that hurt anyway. Another story is a girl who admitted to walking out into traffic.
Oh yeah, I saw that on my Facebook.
And then she blamed the app still.
Yeah, no, that's and her mom was encouraging it. That's not responsibility.
That's called trying to collect a paycheck. And it's not going to happen because, again, the first thing they tell you on this game when you load it up is be aware of your surroundings. With a big Gyarados about to eat the guy who's not paying attention. Yeah,
no, parents, please, if you know your kids aren't going to pay attention, don't let them have the app.
Yeah, like the judge will tell you in court, ignorance is no excuse for anything.
And there's also Hall H down for Comic-Con.
Yeah, Comic-Con's happening next week, and we're going to talk a little bit more in the show, but apparently there was like a setup area or something?
Yeah, no, Pokemon Go was going to have a panel, but the room for it was only about 480 people. It got a major upgrade and got moved to Hall H.
So way to go, Pokemon Go. I mean, this is actually a certified phenomenon. It's a worldwide thing. T-Mobile has a T-Mobile Tuesdays type thing. They give like their clients free stuff on Tuesdays. They're giving their clients, starting this Tuesday coming up and every Tuesday until I believe into late August, a free year of data when it comes to Pokemon Go. Yeah, but you have to download the app. And you have to do a couple little hoops you have to jump through, but you do get a free year of data on T-Mobile.
Which is awesome, considering how much data it sucks.
It takes up a lot of data. And they're also offering, check this out, free Lyft rides up to $15 to go to a new Pokestop or gym, free Wendy's Frosties, and 50% off accessories like powered cables and portable batteries. And they're all.
Businesses are really taking this to their advantage, which is great.
I gotta bring that up right down to you. But there's more. On top of that, 250 people are going to be giving $100 worth of Pokecoins, which is a huge, and 5 people will win a Pokemon Go hunting trip anywhere in the U.S. I would go to Hawaii.
Hawaii would be great.
Yeah, go to. It's part of the
Get
U.S.
all the water types.
Yeah, yeah, go for it, dude. Oh, imagine.
My friend was down at Huntington, and like all he was finding was water types.
Now that's the thing about Pokemon Go. So we've learned some things since the app has been out. It does overlay onto your actual GPS, so water is water, forest is forest, and Nintendo has confirmed that only certain Pokemon come out at night. So you have to go to water areas to catch water Pokemon.
Yeah,
you have to go to forest areas to catch forest Pokemon.
There's a creek right next to my house that I never bothered exploring. And I went down and caught a bunch of water types when the app was actually functioning. Sometimes it glitches, such is the nature of a new app. And I was like, it was great. I felt like a kid again, running around, checking out new places, exploring.
Well, it's along that fact. I took the subway out from Universal to my hometown, and I hopped off, and there is this little public park that I've always take Kylo for a walk in. Prior to Pokemon Go, it was inhabited by bums, sitting at a table playing checkers. I went out there last Friday, and I am not joking. There were 100 to 200 people standing around, and it's been that way every single night. A huge crowd of people just standing out there playing Pokemon Go, and not just in their phones, but they're talking to each other.
Yeah, no, it's been great. People are actually socializing. I can't remember the last time I've seen that happening outside of a convention or an amusement park.
Yeah, I went down to Hollywood and Highland after our junket, and I was talking to 2 music instructors and some guy from across the street who did like audio engineering at a school. And we sat there for half an hour talking about Pokemon and other movies and things like that.
I wish I could have sat there for half an hour, but I had to get to my work.
Yeah, it was one of those things where it's allowed people a commonality to be able to talk to. And there was a huge backlash on Facebook. People were talking crap about people playing Pokemon and go get a job. But then there was another positive backlash where people were like, look, this is something that our world needs right now. It needs something to bring us all together.
Yeah, no, something to have in common, even if it's something... I hesitate to use the word stupid, but...
Or silly.
Silly, like Pokemon.
All the things that we've been calling it. But this is something that's like Star Wars, but
it's a little bit silly.
More
people. Yeah, no, it's like... Let's tie this into Star Trek a little bit, shall we? Star Trek has, like, this overlying theme of unity, and it really has. Like, ever been to a Star Trek convention? Holy crap. All these nerds who constantly stay at home get to actually go and talk to each other and meet new people and express their love for something they enjoy, which is basically what Pokemon Go is doing right now on a gigantic scale.
Yeah, and there's not anything, like one of the things that actually touched my heart was I was playing my game and looking down, and I heard in the background, I heard a mom say, I'm normally supposed to tell you not to talk to strangers. She was saying this to her son, but she walked over to a kid who was having a full-blown conversation with these college students about Pokemon, and the 2 of them were engaged in an intellectual conversation about Pokemon, and the mom walked over after a few minutes and was like, okay, son, you're not supposed to talk to strangers, but in this case, yeah, I guess it's okay because we're in the park and, these guys are all playing Pokemon. But it's even allowed us to go back to Mayberry times a little bit, where you could talk to your neighbor without fear of being kidnapped or molested. People are normal still. There's still good people in the world. And I think that a friend of mine posted on Facebook, and he has a good point. It's not that the world's more evil nowadays or more bad stuff is happening. It's that we have more quicker access to information worldwide. So we know about it. We know it's happening right now. We can see it instantly. So there's still good people out there in the world, especially with all the bad that's been going on. Pokemon is one of those things where if you have that stink bug up you, get it out. Download the damn app. Go out there and walk, because even exposure to sun gives you good vitamin D and muscles. Burning off calories, you'll feel better. My buns feel like steel. All right, I've been hoofing it, and with my knee, like you see me, I limp around most of the time. I strap my brace on, and I head out there for as long as I can. And even now, in the week and a half it's been out, I've walked about 40 kilometers, which is huge for me. And like I said, I posted on, the pain is so good. I don't mind it as much because it gives me something to do, and a focus to keep my mind off of that and catching Pokemon.
Yeah.
Moving on to... Let's move on to more cool stuff. We got to go to the Star Trek Beyond junket. this
Yeah.
past week for the press here in Los Angeles.
Let's see who was there. Carl Urban, who plays Bones.
He's one of my favorites. Simon Pegg.
Yep, Simon Pegg, who plays Scotty, and also co-wrote the film. There was
Spock.
Chris. Yep, Spock. Zachary Quinto.
Zachary Quinto.
Oh, should
Now this is. I so actually want to talk about this. Now this I've been doing this for about 4 years now. This was Abigail's first ever opportunity to go to a real press junket here in LA. And for those who don't know, it's a special thing. Like, not everybody gets to go to these things. They're actually pretty awesome.
Yeah, no, and we were at the Four Seasons in Beverly Hills. Everything was fancy. I'm like, holy crap, this looks expensive.
Right? And then the day before, at the actual screening, we got to go to Rock Candy.
Yeah, a really nice, like, Chinese restaurant. It was, like, really fancy. And I'm like, holy crud.
Yeah, all the hors d'oeuvres you could eat and, drink. And then
free drinks.
Yeah, and then we get to go into the theater and we got to see Star Trek Beyond. Now, we can't give you a review of the movie. We just our reactions to the movie. And being that we're talking about the movie right now, I would say I personally think that it's the best Star Trek movie of this new generation to date. And that's just my opinion. It feels very much like the old Star Trek television show. I laughed more than I thought I was going to, and just the characters finally seem to be in their own skin.
Yeah, I think.
They are.
Okay, when it comes to plot, I think Star Trek, the 2009 film, was better. But when it comes to characters, character development, and interaction,
2009 was the first one?
Yes.
Okay.
And I was 6th grade, man. I remember. When it comes, like I said, characters, character development, interaction. Beyond was amazing. The thing is, the characters get. Can I talk about how they get?
Let's not.
Okay.
Just to make sure.
Okay. Okay. So yeah, let's just say the way they handled the characters was very well done, and I loved it.
Yeah, we don't want to spoil anything just in case. And get in trouble even more so.
Let's not get in trouble with the press correspondents.
We want to get invited back.
Yeah, no, we want to go back.
So the following day, we're at the Four Seasons. We get to go to the press junket. I actually going to bring this up real quick because I had a total fanboy moment when we got there. Yeah, that's us. That's me with J.J. Abrams. And
I got
Simon
a picture
Pegg.
with Simon Pegg. I didn't get to see J.J., unfortunately.
Yeah, I walked out to go take Kyle to the restroom because, yes, I take my dog to press conferences. And they were there, and JJ's like, "Hey, my dog's here," and I was like, "Oh, you're JJ Abrams."
Yeah, no, Simon was actually really cool about the photo.
Sweet guy, both of them. I mean, they actually were like, "Take your," because I was fumbling with my phone, obviously, because I'm nervous as hell. Like, take your time, and I was like, "Okay, thank you."
No, Simon was like, after there was like 2 separate panels, one with the actors, which Simon was on, and one with the directors and writers, which Simon was also on. Mm-hmm. So after the first one, I was like, "Hey," a couple other went up to take photos, and he seemed completely fine with it. So I'm like, okay, maybe I can take a quick picture, selfie. And he was like, okay, well, I need to go take my break. So 1 second, I promise I'll take a picture with you later. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah. You go take break. You've been talking for like an hour straight. And so he was about to leave after the second panel, and he's like, he saw me, and he's like, hey, wait, I promised I'd take a photo with you, which I think was really, really cool of him.
It's like, love.
I'm like,
that guy right there.
That's what makes you a cool dude.
He gets it. He gets it. And
because he is a nerd. He's a nerd like us.
Yeah, and don't call him
geek.
a nerd, though. He's a geek. He's actually one of those guys who doesn't like to be called a nerd like me. He likes to be called a geek. And I didn't get a chance to ask him about that. I really wanted to, but maybe next time. But there was some touching moments in the film. Of course, Anton was a big thing. We talked about that during the junket. Now, we have footage from the junket that we're going to edit together and package for our YouTube channel later. We just have to wait for the embargo to lift for a little
that's
bit.
the 20th?
The 20th it lifts, yeah. So sometime around there, we'll have our press junket screening footage for you. But we did ask about how it felt, and it's still very fresh for them.
Yeah, it was brought up a couple times. I mean, Zoe, who played Uhura, was crying a little bit, and I think this is while it's great, it's something you get to celebrate the film, because it's one of the final things Anton was in.
Yeah.
I think it's a bit, frankly, painful for the cast, and I don't blame them.
Yeah, it's still very fresh for them, and the movie itself, when you see it, you definitely feel it. You feel the loss.
It brings an interesting emotional depth to it.
It does. It really does.
And added on to Leonard Nimoy, they were able to. They put in. I like the way they paid tribute to him in there. It was very nice.
Yeah, definitely. And overall, like I said, you're gonna want to see this movie for sure.
Yeah, no, it's you do not want to miss it.
Do not want to miss it. And for those of us that are lucky enough to be in Europe right now, Star Wars Celebration is happening.
Yeah.
Yeah. We've got some amazing footage of that as well that we'll be editing together for you guys in the future. But they released, I'm sure you've all seen it by now. If you haven't, go to our Facebook page. It's up there. The behind the scenes footage for Rogue One.
Oh yeah.
And the great
I don't think
thing,
we got an official trailer yet.
No official trailer yet.
We only got a few months, guys. Come on.
The great thing that I love about this is that it's done in the classic movie making style of practicals, real live sets and lighting and cameras and filters and using actual practical.
Yeah, no, because the fact is, it will always look better. I remember when green screen first became a huge thing. Directors weren't used to it, and they used way too much of it without realizing it's just not going to turn out as well as a real set.
It was like early J.J. Abrams and his lens flare filter. It's like, enough with the lens flare. Okay, we get it. We like it. It's a filter. You're using it too much. Same thing with green screen. It just got overused way too much. So with this Rogue One, the director's done a great job. I mean, some of the production stills are beautiful. I
just thought of a funny little... It's basically like when a girl first discovers makeup. It's very apparent she just found out.
That's awesome.
And she's using a little too much.
Well, real quick, before we get way further onto the show, because I want to talk about Comic-Con, I've got some panel footage for you guys. We do have permission to play this, YouTube, so back off. From Star Wars Celebration and the cast and crew from Star Wars Celebration. You can see some cool stuff here, so enjoy this.
Could not be more thrilled, not only to be here today, but to be celebrating 40 years since A New Hope was made in London.
I would like to present some of the cast of Rogue One.
I was up there with the cast. It's pretty surreal. If I wasn't on the stage, I'd be paying money to be in the crowd. It was like, I'm a massive Star Wars fan.
What hits you is the affection, the warmth that was coming from the audience today for the franchise and for those characters.
Felicity, here is your Jyn Erso action figure.
I feel very privileged to have joined the Star Wars doll universe.
We're a family now, so it felt great to be all of us there.
Please welcome Mr. Ben Mendelsohn.
We thought it might be fun if we came out in the Imperial costume. People just stand and they just start cheering. There's a lot of love for the entire series in that room.
Going to events like this and seeing people get so excited and to try to meet that expectation with the things that we're creating, that's what I get the most excited about.
I mean, you feel that energy when you first walk in. We could hear the audience and they were clapping and we're thinking, what's going on out there? What are they showing them?
There's a little surprise for people. Should we do it now?
It was the first time that people had seen some of the behind-the-scenes footage, which is absolutely incredibly shot and gave people, I think, an impression of how we've been working and the authenticity that we've been wanting to get in the film.
Rogue One is a film that's inspired by just one of the lines in the opening crawl, the opening text of Episode 4, A New Hope. It's about a group of rebels who are together to try and steal the plans that Death Star.
What we're trying to do with the Star Wars stories is to step outside of the sagas and the episode stories a bit. It gives us an opportunity to really explore completely different stories with different characters, but inside the same universe.
When you watch it, that you're really rooting for those characters and you want them to succeed, but you're there with them in those battles. That's what we hope people will feel.
May the Force be with all of you.
So, what do you think of that?
That looks so cool.
So she got her character on stage. One little spoiler alert. Plug your ears. About one of the characters that I was like, oh, that's so awesome to hear. The story of Rogue One is a bunch of small rebel factions are fighting the Empire. They're not yet the Rebel Alliance. So this is a story of them becoming the Rebel Alliance.
Yeah, no, you got to work together in order to take down the big guy.
And Forrest Whitaker plays Saw Gerrera, and in some of the footage, panel footage, he lets out that he is a guerrilla warfare trained soldier, but also someone who was trained by the Jedi.
That's cool.
So there's going to be some Force action going on in this movie for sure. Hopefully,
I think if we want to move on to comic.
Yeah. So hopefully, we'll get to see some more Jedi action in Rogue One. Now, this is the week of Comic-Con, so we're not going to be on the air next Saturday because some of us will be in San Diego. We should have updates for you on YouTube throughout the week, though, because it starts on Wednesday for the press.
Wednesday.
And then Thursday is the preview day. Wow, Comic-Con. So you have something that's going on in Hall H that you want to talk about?
Yeah, that was the Pokemon Go.
The Pokemon Go thing. Awesome. Now, if you've never been to Comic-Con, San Diego Comic-Con specifically, it's not like your normal con. And I wanted just to point some things out to you guys before you head down there so you're not disappointed. So make a schedule like we were talking about earlier and then throw it away. Because you're probably not going to be able to do any of that stuff. Because the lines there are atrociously long.
Like, make goals, but it's just be aware that if you are insanely lucky if you get to do even half the things you want to do.
Even a quarter of the things. Because the lines are long. People are lining up in Hall H now, you've heard.
And be aware they don't clear it out between breaks. They only clear it out at night. And so if you want to see the last panel of the day, you're going to have to sit through every single panel that day.
Yeah, you're going to have to tough it out, man. And it's kind of hard. So try to plan that out. There's a lot of things to do outside of the convention center for
you don't even
the
need
fans. You don't even need a badge. Yeah.
If you just want to cosplay and meet people, don't even bother with the badge.
Now, when I first started Geek Speak TV, I went down there without a badge and a camera and some T-shirts and just walked the streets, and I had a great time just talking to people. Now, there's a lot of fun stuff to do in San Diego as far as nightclubs and all that stuff. You don't need a badge for, but to get into the actual hall, you do need a badge. Now, don't break your neck because San Diego Comic-Con all the vendors are pretty much the same vendors that you get at every other convention here in Los Angeles. So if you're from the area, WonderCon, same vendors. The exclusives are the thing that you really want to hunt for. So focus on that stuff.
Yeah, that should be probably your first goal outside of getting in line for Hall H.
Yeah. Parking.
Parking is insane. In fact, the parking pre-reservations were months ago, along with that happened right after the hotel reservations. So if you're you're going to either end up parking 2 miles away for a ridiculous cost, or you're going to be fighting your way onto public transportation. It's simply the way it works.
And just so you know, ridiculous cost means anywhere from $60 to $120 a day for parking.
You thought valet parking was bad?
And that's no joke, and I'm not twisting your arm, that's the truth. Cosplay and travel. So keep that in mind. Your cosplay is important. Wear comfortable shoes.
And don't be careful with your props. Because San Diego is one of the strictest cons about its props.
Yeah,
and
check.
While it's great to have these big, elaborate, big ol' cosplays, it's not going to survive the con.
You're a sardine in that city because it's a small city to begin with a 200,000 people influxing for Comic-Con, plus the regular 75,000 people who influx for it's a vacation spot. So it's just chaos and badness. So plan for that, and wear comfortable shoes, drink plenty of water, wear sunscreen, and don't wear cosplay that's going to bother other people or hurt other people. You can lose an eye with some of these cosplays that we've seen.
Beware, girls, that you may want something to wear to cover up on public transportation and other stuff. You shouldn't have to, but it's frankly the way it is.
And guys too, I've been groped myself in this kind of environment. It's because you have alcohol and you have a lot of people crammed together. So it's like Mardi Gras for geeks. So it's a lot of fun, but again, just be on guard, be careful, and respect other people too. If you get drunk and you think it's a good idea to grab somebody, guy or girl, don't do it. One of the cool things I wanted to mention before we go off the air is FX is doing Archer Live on Thursday night, July 21st. It's an event that you had to register to get tickets for, so if you didn't, sorry. But it is going to be available on the PlayStation View to see it. So the actual cast is going to be doing an episode of Archer Live. So that's pretty cool. So, and Star Trek with the badge. If you have a badge inside of the convention, Nichelle Nichols, who played Uhura from the original Star Trek series, is going to be signing on Friday. Brett Spiner, who played Data, is going to be signing on Saturday.
Yay, Data.
So
Data was one of my favorites.
Yeah, free autographs with your badge in the convention. And Nichelle Nichols is actually going to be available at her booth signing throughout the convention, and she has a jewelry line out. And some tribbles and stuff that she's flying for you. So,
and also be aware that their Star Trek is also premiering down there on Thursday night.
Yeah, we saw it. It was awesome. Go see it when it comes out. You're gonna love it. I guarantee it. And if I don't like it, then you got bad taste. Yeah. Well, thanks for joining us again for the episode. That's pretty much it for us this week. Again, won't be here next week, but there will be posts all week long about Celebration.
We'll be live from the con.
Maybe.
Well, he will. I probably will.
Maybe. That's a big maybe. Technology is never... I never trust technology.
Yeah, it's
but we will definitely have stories and updates and pictures and all that stuff from our street team that's going to be down there as well. So, yeah. So, thanks for hanging out. We'll see you guys next week. Or 2 weeks.
Bye.
Bye.